Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories might just be one of the most impressive games in the entire Kingdom Hearts series. Why, you ask? Because it could, nay, should, have been nothing. Just a simple spin-off on the Game Boy Advance, released in 2004, meant to milk more money out of the Kingdom Hearts name and tide players over until Kingdom Hearts 2 was released. And yet, the people behind this game took that nothing they were given, and they turned it into something. Not just something even, something really good. The game was developed by Square Enix and Jupiter in conjecture with Disney and Nintendo. It was just meant to meet the popular demand for a Kingdom Hearts game on the Game Boy Advance, with no significant story attached to it. But because Tetsuya Nomura already planned on KH3's story occurring 1 year after the original game, he decided that it would make sense to explain the missing year with the handheld's title. The problem was that since many KH3 players might not play this game, its story couldn't do too much significant or get too in-depth with its mysteries, since they would be solved in KH2. So Nomura gave the game's assigned scriptwriter, Daisuke Watanabe, who was the secondary scriptwriter on the first game, precious little to work with beyond the basic premise of Sora, Donald, and Goofy getting stuck in the mysterious Castle Oblivion, where they would slowly lose their memories, and that the game would end with the trio being put in cryogenic sleep in order for their memories to be restored. So yeah, that story doesn't sound like much. But, as I said before, Watanabe was actually able to make something really good out of it. The Disney worlds visited in this game are all the ones from the first game, minus Tarzan's world, recreated as illusions within the labyrinths of Castle Oblivion's many floors. Because they are made from Sora's memories, the events in them are all rehashes of what already happened in the first game, and yet Watanabe is actually able to make them interesting by choosing a different focus than there was before. Kingdom Hearts focused on the genie in its trip to Agrabah. This game focuses on Aladdin. Kingdom Hearts had Alice get kidnapped in Wonderland. This game has her stick around and play an important role. Characters like Geppetto and Pinocchio in Monstro, or Peter Pan and Wendy in Neverland, get more to do than just support Riku and Sora's conflict like in the original game. And we actually get to see Beauty and the Beast be Beauty and the Beast as a romantic couple, as opposed to Belle just being the motivation behind Beast's actions. On top of that, the main story that unfolds between the Disney worlds is interesting. There's a really dark and creepy atmosphere that pervades it as the central mystery unfolds more and more, where Sora believes that a forgotten friend from Destiny Islands, who just might be a ghost, is being held prisoner in the castle, only for him to not only start forgetting everything else the more he remembers about this friend, but for that friend to begin outright replacing Kairi in his heart and mind, with Sora himself becoming more of a mindlessly emotional basket case as this goes on. After being such an endearing, idealized hero in the first game, to see the darker side of Sora's nature like this is just unsettling, in the best way possible. And the group of villains who are behind all of this, known simply as the Organization, they're really interesting too. Not only do all the members have distinct personalities that are just so much fun to see work off one another, but it turns out that it's not just one plan they have going on, and that different members have their own agendas which all end up clashing. It's Game of Thrones-style political intrigue, but presented in a way that anyone can follow, kid and adult alike. And all of this by Watanabe from just a paper-thin premise he was given to write about. Okay, so enough gushing about the story. What about the game itself? The first thing anyone will notice is just how good the graphics are for a GBA game. This is stuff that most NES games never came close to. What's more, a few full videos made with the graphics of the original PS2 game have managed to fit onto the game cartridge. That is some damn impressive game designing. When it comes to the gameplay, we have the most controversial aspect of the game, the card-based game system. As is said in the game itself, everything in Castle Oblivion is ruled by the cards. You need cards to attack, cards to use magic, cards to use items, cards to forge your own unique path through the dungeon crawler-esque levels of the game, and to unlock the rooms where the story progresses. This can either be really fun or really annoying, and it ultimately depends on what kind of a player you are. I see many hardcore gamers who relish the challenge the card system provides, since it really allows for more strategic thinking than the simple combat of the first game. But I've also seen many casual gamers who were turned off of the game altogether, either because they didn't want to try the card system, or because they did try it and it proved too difficult for them. I personally thought the system was fine, but I'm not really a professional game critic, so I don't feel like I can make a firm judgment on it. It's just something that each player is going to have to see how they feel for themselves. Now, I should mention that when you complete the main game, you unlock a shorter additional story mode where you get to play as Riku, who has his own adventure in the basements of Castle Oblivion. The card-based gameplay actually changes in a way that makes it easier, but I'm among those who think that's a step down since I appreciated the strategy angle involved in Sora mode. On top of that, the story of Riku mode is bullshit. I appreciate seeing more of the organization, more of Mickey Mouse, and this interesting new character named Diz, but Riku himself is surprisingly underwritten, getting a few good scenes toward the start and a few good scenes toward the end, but the rest of it is just him fighting the Heartless in Disney worlds in total silence and isolation, while the between-floor scenes tend to focus on anyone and everyone but him. On top of that, the lesson he's supposed to learn through all of this contradicts the first game, and it even ends up being contradicted by the next game as well. It really feels like they just wanted a playable Riku since he was pretty popular in the first game, and just cobbled a story for him together quickly and without thinking about it that much. Unlike Sora's story, not even Watanabe's writing can elevate this. But overall, Chain of Memories ended up as the definition of a game that was better than it had any right being, since it so easily could have just been a throwaway. And because it was not a throwaway and turned out so good, it got rewarded with a full remake on the PS2 in 2007, so that it can sit side by side with Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2 as a complete trilogy. Titled Rechained Memories, the remake improves on a lot of things, making the card system more manageable for casual players, allowing for better combat due to wider arenas on a bigger screen, and ironing out some story details so that it's more in line with the finished KH3, since originally there were some mistakes due to both games being developed at the same time. Rechained Memories later got ported to PS3 and PS4 as part of the HD collections, so it remains the most accessible version of the game, and thus the most recommended. But for me, I played and thoroughly enjoyed both versions of the game, and unlike Sora, Donald, and Goofy by the end, I won't be forgetting it anytime soon.